If you're thinking about moving to Southern or MidCoast Maine, there are things that you need to know before you make the move, and most people don't find out until it's too late. My team work with relocation buyers every single week moving into the state just like yourself. Here are 15 things every buyer needs to know when relocating to Maine. And stick around until the end, and I'll tell you how to get our free relocation kit, including our relocation guide, budget planner, and town comparison sheet. If this is your first time here, my name is Brady Stockwell with Brett Davis Real Estate. We help people relocate to Southern and MidCoast Maine, whether you're from out of state or a lifelong Mainer. Before we jump in, this channel is all about helping people relocate to, sell, or buy in MidCoast and Southern Maine. We'll cover neighborhoods, towns, new construction, relocation tips, and much, much more. We post videos every week, so if one of those topics is of interest to you, make sure you hit subscribe. Now, the 15 things you must know when moving to Southern or MidCoast Maine. Southern to MidCoast Maine is not just Portland. One of the biggest mistakes I see is people who think the entire region is very similar to Portland. Portland, Freeport, Brunswick, Bath are all very different and offer very different lifestyles. Portland is urban, walkable, a younger demographic, and has higher prices. Freeport and Brunswick, on the other hand, are quieter, more family-friendly, they're more rural, they still have plenty of amenities and have that good sense of community. Number 2, your town choice matters more than your house. Buyers often focus on the house first, but here the town matters more. School, taxes, winter road access, commute times can dramatically change just 5 minutes over the town line. So it's important that you do your homework first and figure out which town makes the most sense for you. Some towns have year-round thriving communities, while others are seasonal ghost towns. It's easier to change a house down the road than regret the community that you move into and have to uproot your family yet again to find one that fits your needs. Do your homework ahead of time so you don't have to regret your choice down the road. Number 3, housing inventory is better, but it's still tight in the more desirable towns. We're definitely up from a couple of years ago, the amount of inventory that's on the market and the amount of choices, but those homes that are priced well, marketed well, in those high desirable areas are still going rather quickly at times. Number 4, older homes equal more character, but also more maintenance. Maine has one of the oldest housing stocks in the nation, which means we have a lot of character and a lot of older style homes, but with that comes a lot of required things you need to weigh. For example, your heating systems, roofs, septic systems, insulation, all of these things need to be taken into account when you are purchasing an older home as opposed to new construction. They're probably going to need to be replaced sooner rather than later, and these costs need to go into your budget when you are purchasing this home. One additional thing I like to mention is we have a lot of private wells, private septic systems here in Maine, which isn't overly common in a lot of the big metropolises across the country. You have to make sure that you're drinking clean water, that you have a viable septic system. While these expenses are on the homeowner and it's on you to maintain them and make sure they're functioning properly, and it can be a huge additional expense. Do your inspections, have someone come take a look, make sure everything is functioning properly and has a lot of life left in it when you are making an offer before you commit to that home. Number 5, heating costs are real and seasonal. Understanding what you heat your home with matters more than your square footage. And most importantly, the insulation. What's in the walls, what's in the roof, keeping the heat in. Is your home energy efficient? When you find a potential home, it's important that you ask for the past seasons or multiple seasons heating expenditures, whether it's oil, whether it's heat pumps and it's built into their electric bill, or maybe they have a wood burning stove and they go through firewood and they have whatever the cords that they use in the past season. These heating costs can really fluctuate depending on insulation, whatever the heating source is, etc. Number 6, internet is not equal everywhere. This is a big one for those remote workers, which are becoming more and more prominent moving into our state because they are moving here for whether it's the lifestyle to get out of the big city and they're able to work from home now. That means you have to have a secure internet connection. High-speed internet is becoming more widely available in our state with each passing day. There are Consolidated Communications, Fidium Fiber. These companies are installing the high-speed internet, but It hasn't reached everywhere, and one street could have it, the next over in the same town might not. It's important to ask for the internet access, who the sellers used, or what options are available on that street. Like I said, it's not available everywhere, so just make sure that your connection is going to be secure, especially if you require it for your job security. Number 7, winters are long, but they're also predictable. They're not too scary as long as you prepare well. Expect you're going to have shorter days. You're going to need snow removal, whether you're able-bodied and you can do this yourself, or you need to hire someone. You don't have the time to do your snow removal for you. Just be prepared to know it's going to be cold. Snow isn't always consistent, especially in recent winters. It hasn't been as extreme, but it's going to be cold. And if you're prepared for it, it's not that scary. Number 8, following up on winters, summer makes it all worth it. Maine is known as vacation land for a reason. Summers are why a lot of the people who move here and who already live here have fallen in love with the area. It has so much to offer between lakes, mountains, the ocean. There's so much outdoor recreation and undeveloped land that is free to go and explore. The lifestyle that Maine provides, especially in the summer, is one of the best things about the state. Number 9, this may be a controversial one, but the cost of living here is lower compared to a lot of the areas that people are moving to Maine from. Getting a lot of an influx from out-of-state buyers who are coming from New York, Boston, these bigger metropolises that have very high cost of living. So relatively speaking, cost of living in Maine can be lower for a lot of people. It's not cheap, but it can be lower. Number 10, property taxes vary widely by town. The same exact house in one town can be much more expensive to own than in another town. Why is this? Local amenities such as public water, public sewer services, transportation services. The school system has a fixed tax budget as well, that depending on your school system, you may incur a much higher tax rate than just a neighboring town. So it's really important, like I said earlier, to weigh what is really important to you and when choosing a town. And that way you're able to know what you're getting into and have no surprises when it gets to the closing table. So always ask for the taxes, property taxes, when making an offer, and weigh that really before making an offer to know that it's something that you are comfortable with and can afford. All right, number 11, you may need to adjust your commute expectations. There's a lot less traffic here than big cities, but you're typically going to be commuting a lot further, especially in the winter months. A 30-minute commute in July is not always equal to a 30-minute commute in January. When it's wintry out, you have to drive slower and be cautious. So take that into account when finding the right community for you. Know how far you have to drive for your work, your commute, and you may have to add some time depending on weather. Number 12, healthcare access also depends on location. Building on the commute, when you're finding a town that you want to live in, it's very important you weigh how far you are from healthcare specialists, the major hospitals. There's major hospitals in Portland, Augusta, out in Lewiston, Auburn. Just especially if you are at a higher risk or someone who has a lot of medical needs, you need to take that into account when finding a town here in Maine. Find one that is close for you to get to if you're going to be there frequently. Number 13, community is real but earned. There's plenty of opportunities to get out and get involved, whether it's volunteering, local events, the school events, etc. There's plenty of options and ways to build relationships and great connections. It's earned. People are pretty nice. Number 14, renting first is sometimes a smart decision. Not everybody is ready to buy a home right away. Sometimes you may want to find an apartment in a community you're interested in and test the waters. See how you like living there. If it makes good sense for you, you may find that you like it a lot more than you expected, or vice versa. It might not actually be a great fit for you. This isn't required for everybody. A lot of the times people do know what they want and what they're going to get. And obviously being able to pay $3,000 a month into your equity as opposed to your rent is a lot smarter financial decision. But for those who have that option and want to make sure they're really making the right choice, as opposed to moving to the wrong town and regret it down the road, renting first can be a great option for you. Number 15, having a relocation specialist changes everything. Buyers, especially out-of-state buyers coming to the area for the first time, having the right boots on the ground person who has the experience in the community can have that conversation with you to help figure out what towns they feel would be a best fit for you with that experience that they have and can provide. Can help to avoid costly mistakes, moving to the wrong area, help you better understand inspection results, your findings when you finally do find a house and make an offer. It really pays dividends to have the right person work with the right team. Knowing what question to ask is half the battle. If you're thinking about moving to Southern or MidCoast Maine, I put together a free relocation guide. This includes a 30-step checklist for those relocating across the country, budget planner, what costs to expect when relocating to Maine, down payment, closing costs, everything that goes into a real estate transaction, as well as a relocation guide and a town comparison matrix of the different towns and what they have to offer throughout the Southern to Midcoast area. If that is of interest to you, click the link below in the description, as well as the pinned comment in the comment. If you found this video helpful, please hit subscribe down below. This channel is all about relocating to Maine, selling your house in Maine, or buying a home in Maine if you already do live here. More content is going to be coming out every week. As well as if you have any questions, please put them down below. I will do my best to respond to every single one.